Hello and welcome to part 2 of building Hogwarts in Lego at minifig scale. And yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. A lot has changed since part 1. Namely, this building right here was not built in the last episode. So I'm going to go into all the different things that I've accomplished in a little bit more detail and show it off to you. And let's go ahead and get started with some of the changes. It may not seem super obvious, but I was able to get more of this roof done, and I actually know how to finish it off with the corner pieces. I just don't have the parts in the correct colors. So I have some bricklink orders placed. I'm hoping next week at the latest I'll be able to complete the roof of the actual courtyard. I filled in a little bit more of the tile flooring. I know a lot of the dark bluish gray pieces were missing last time. Those came in, so I was able to almost finish. I still have a few missing spots, as you can see there. And on the gargoyles, I'm also missing a few spots, like on some of these. I'm missing a few modified plates I need. But hopefully those will be in here in the next few days, and I can get the courtyard, basically finished up. And I think it's turning out really well. I'm really happy with the design and how the courtyard is shaping up. But the biggest thing I accomplished was the entrance hall, and it's almost finished. These pieces up here are, once again, not the final pieces that are going to stay up there. I'm waiting for the correct colors to come in. I didn't have any more of the slopes of the inverted kind, like these right here, or of the these 2x2x3s. I didn't have any of those in tan, so they're on order. They should be here soon. This is, however, the overall shape of the top steeple, if you will, part. The shape that it will have. I just don't have the correct parts. And the actual building is going to be a little bit taller as well, probably up. The roof line, I think, is going to start somewhere right about here. I just couldn't finish building up that roof because it's going to connect in to these inverted slopes here, and since I don't have the correct colors of this, I couldn't continue building the roof up without having to, take it all back apart when the correct pieces came in, and so I didn't really fancy doing that. But so right now it's as tall as I can get it until some bricklink orders come in. And here I was just kind of playing around with the design for the towers, and these are the same towers that line up alongside of the Great Hall on either side. And I was playing with some designs. These are actually really tricky because the piece I need does not exist. So I actually need to be able to produce this arch that you see here on all four sides. But that's not possible because the pieces that they do make for corner arches don't work out so well when you have a filled interior like this. So I've been playing around with some other designs, and I think I'm probably just going to use these log style 1x2 bricks on opposite sides, and then have the actual arch cut out on the other two, just to kind of give it a little bit of texture and effect since the piece I need does not exist yet. This is just the clock face from the clock tower set that Lego produced in 2019. I got an extra one of the inverted radar dishes, and it is just stuck up here, as you can see, with some snot brick and then some round 2x2 bricks stuck together. So it's not the sturdiest. I might need to work it, a technique to make that a little bit better, but I think the overall effect is really good, and I think it's going to look really great. I'm happy with my stonework and how that turned out. It doesn't look too boring or too repetitive. And I was mostly just afraid of having a giant, large, tan castle with no variation, and it wouldn't be very interesting to look at. But I think I solved that pretty well. Let me know what you think about that. I have this bottom arch here. I borrowed this technique from Cheesy Studios. He did a clock tower build using a similar technique. And this is just round 1x1 bricks, and there's flex tubing inside. And then it's connected up here with a snot brick. And then these are just connected down here with some of those 1x2 round plates with holes in them. So it's connected just there and there. And it gives that an overall really nice look, because trying to get that shape in Lego is very difficult, because most of the prefabricated arches, they don't form that exact shape. And so I'm also going to be doing a similar thing up here with this arch. I'll be using this bent brick strategy with flex tube up there to make sure it has a very similar shape. It's not going to be as blocky and squared as you see it right now in its current form. So that will change a little bit there. But yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with how this arch turned out. These spires were very difficult to figure out because I only had a 1x2 base to work with, and they don't make any kind of pieces that reach up tall enough and will fit on that base. So I kind of had to improvise, and I basically created a spire out of plates. So like the middle one is a 1x6, then these are 1x4s, and this is a 1x2, and I stuck them all together, and these are actually just connected on the side. Let's see if I can pull one of these off without breaking it. So there's just a snot brick there, and I just made these spires, and then it just connects into the wall right there. It's not perfect, but it gives the overall effect that I was looking for of having tall spires on either side of the actual archway. So that's the best that I could figure out for that. And let's go around and look at the other side. So this right here is the hallway that leads off from the entrance hall into the grand staircase tower, which will be like right here. Pardon the mess on the floor. My building room is a disaster, like it always is. And since I'm building this in a modular fashion, I'm going to have, the rest of it that will stick onto the side here. And this hall was kind of awkward, the way that it split, because there's actually two sets of windows on this back wall. There's a set right here, and there's going to be a set right here. And then the front wall has a set that basically starts right here where this edge is. So I've had to leave some slots in this wall. And then in this wall, this arch actually hangs out further than the base. I don't know if you can tell really well there. So that when I connect this piece in with the rest of the hallway, those arches should slot into the wall really nicely. And then I can use the Technic pins to kind of hopefully stick the two big chunks together, and it'll look seamless, or at least as seamless as I can get it. So this is the inside of the entrance hall. Here are the doors, which are just a lot of plates stuck to each other. And that's how they open up. And this is the view looking from the inside out towards the courtyard. And I've started over here the educational decrees that Filch is going to be hanging. Have this little ladder piece. I'm not sure if this is the ladder I'm going to use or exactly how that's going to work. These are just some of those, I guess they're like Nexonite shield pieces in reddish brown, and I just flipped them upside down. These are going to be stuck on the wall with snot bricks as well. And I have a few more of these on order. I believe 28 is the exact number of educational decrees. So that's what I have on the wall and what I've planned for once the rest come in, that is. And I have the stickers from the Room of Requirement set that actually have some of the educational decrees. And they're 2x2 stickers, so they're just going to go really nicely along these. I just haven't put them on yet, but I will. And then I'm going to have Filch, with the ladder and probably Thor's hammer or something silly, hammering those in. But that's the scene I wanted to depict here in the entrance hall. And now I know this scene actually, the educational decrees are actually, so there's a doorway here that leads into the Great Hall, and they are like all above and around this doorway is where these actually hang in the film. I put them over here for a couple reasons, mostly because along and above this future archway that is coming, I'm going to put the Hogwarts Knight statues that McGonagall calls to life. So I'm kind of trying to cram two different scenes into the same space. And the educational decrees were the main one I wanted to portray. And the reason I went ahead and moved them to this wall is because if we come over here to the side of Hogwarts, this window is removable, and you'll be able to look in. and I wanted that scene to be the main one that you would be able to see once you are looking in. But yeah, this little window is just modular and it can be removed. So that's that. Here's my window design. These windows are all custom. So every time I've seen a large scale Hogwarts build, most of the time people tend to use like the prefabricated like 2x2 windows with like either a window pane or like a black lattice, clicked in there, and they stack them up into rows. I decided to go for a custom style window, and you can get a little bit better idea of what they look like from a distance here. And the reason I did this is because I didn't want to be constrained by 2x2 dimensions. I might want to make a window, that's 5 studs large instead of 4 or 6. And doing a custom window allows me to do that. Or the height, I can customize the height a little bit better. And also I wanted to be able to have like really long sections that aren't divided, because the 2x2 window panes have like reddish brown lines, every pane. So you can't get this really like long glass look like you can doing a custom window. But yeah, those are my customs, and I'm really happy with how they turned out, actually. I think it's going to look great once I have the rest of the Great Hall built, and you can see, like, from a side view, you can see all of them and lined up and what they look like. But I just wanted to have a little bit more freedom over, the build, because I'm planning on building the entire castle here. And if I'm going to do that, I don't know what the dimensions and scale of future parts are going to be. And so I don't want to have to commit myself to one style of window and then be forced to change it on a different part of the castle. I want the consistency. So I decided just to go for custom windows straight from the start, and I think it gives it a really nice effect and look. So we'll come back around here again, give you all one more look. I still need to work on the flooring for the entrance hall here, as well as I'm going to have the Architect of Hogwarts statue somewhere over here in this area. And like I said, on this wall, I'll have the main entryway into the Great Hall, as well as the spots for the Knights of Hogwarts statues. So that is what I've accomplished so far on the entry hall and courtyard. Now, if you guys want to see more in-depth, videos about specific building techniques I use, like the arches or the windows, let me know in the comments, and I can make like a little tutorial, short 4 or 5 minute video, actually showing you, how I built it and those techniques, so that you can, replicate that. You can steal anything here that I've done. Nothing is solely mine. Everything's been done before in Lego, and so it's all free property to steal. I have done some work over on the actual Great Hall. Excuse me. Last time I mentioned that the scene I was going for was going to be the Yule Ball, because I hadn't seen done in a large-scale Lego MOC like this before. And I'll go ahead and pan over here and show you what I've done on the Yule Ball scene. So this is what I've got so far. So see, these are the arches that I was talking about that go into the entrance hall. And I've kind of started working out the spots where the Knights of Hogwarts are going to be in like their little cubby sections, if you will. There's more of my custom windows. I have these eagle statues here with like little blue flame, pieces in there to make it look wintry. I have done like some snow work along the edges on the floor, as well as hung like icicles and snowdrifts from these. I'm going to hang them from the windows as well, just trying to give it that really wintry feel. This is the placement for all the tables. They're going to have glassware on them, a lot like this. I just don't have the pieces and haven't, looked at doing that for the other tables yet. There will be more minifigs. This is just what I had on hand. Most of these are the figs from the Clock Tower set that Lego has made of characters in their actual Yule Ball outfits. And I've added a few extras in there. But you can see I've kind of arranged them with all their correct dancing partners. I finished the flooring, and I left a lot of studs exposed just so I could have freedom to move figs around wherever I wanted to. I didn't want to be constrained or have to go back and rip up the floor just to, and add a stud in one specific spot. So I did that. Here are my attempt at snow-covered Christmas trees. These were really difficult to figure out, actually, and they're quite part intensive. And once again, if you want to know more about like the specific techniques that I use to build those, just let me know, and I can make a separate video showing you, how I built those Christmas trees exactly. But I think they turned out pretty well, and yeah, I really like those eagle statues. Those things look amazing for the gargoyles inside the Great Hall there. And so still a lot of work to be done. I've really just scratched the surface and started getting going on the actual Great Hall. So hopefully in future videos we'll see more progress being done on this and what it, is going to look like in the future. So yeah, that just about does it. If you guys want to follow along on this series or want to see tutorials of how I did certain things, leave me a comment, let me know. Feel free to subscribe to get notifications on, future updates and future videos. And until then, I will see y'all next time. Bye.